Hey, so I just wanted to shoot a quick video and to show you how to write these cluster articles, right? So the purpose of these articles is to strengthen the main money page. So if your main money page is, I don't know, about melanoma, for example, or some other disease or whatever service you're selling, whatever you're doing, right? You have this is what we call the money page, the page where people, when they land, they either buy something from you or they give you their email or something like that. They do the conversion. So in order for Google to rank your page, oftentimes it's not enough to have only this page about the topic, right? So let's say you have a page on, let's say you have a website, so let's say for melanoma, right? This page is about melanoma, which is a type of a skin cancer, right? So instead of having only one page about that topic, you want to create more specialized pages, educational pages, that each of them link to this, back to this page. So let's say we have a topic of, how big does melanoma grow, or, what types of melanoma there are, and so on and so on. So we can mention that as a subtopic on this main page, but we also want to have dedicated pages that go into the topic much deeper, right? So this is what we call cluster posts. They simply boost the authority and the relevance of your website for the main topic that you want to rank for. So here are some of the tips on how you should approach this and how you should write these articles, because there's a lot of mistakes going on, people are doing a lot of mistakes when creating these types of posts, right? So let's go down the guide. So let's say guide number 1, don't make the info too obvious. So for example, if you're writing an article on running a marathon, you don't want to write the obvious stuff like drink a lot of water, stretch, train ahead of time, because this stuff is obvious and people already know that. So the second example, so let's say an article on how melanoma looks like. It's flat and bumpy. Everybody knows that there are two types of two things, either it can look flat or it can look bumpy, So my tip is to write the obvious stuff first and then dig deeper into each one of those so you can extract interesting and less known info. So for example, an article on running a marathon, drink 2 liters of water 2 nights before the start of the race and cover with evidence. So instead of having this like bland tip, you dig deeper into this and come up with something interesting and also cover it with some evidence. So that way your article will be much more in-depth and it will not be just a surface level stuff that people can see all over the internet, right? So this is the first tip. Don't make the tips and your info, don't make it too obvious, because Google will not rank you and you will not convert. So the second thing is you have to double check the facts and double check for lack of knowledge giveaways. What does that mean? So for example, if you are an expert on the subject, this isn't, for you. But if you are outsourcing writing to someone, especially a writer that's not an expert on the subject, you really have to double check the facts and double check the lack of knowledge giveaways. So for example, basal cell cancer is not the same as melanoma, right? But you can write it, in the article, that statement could be, the writer can put this into the article, that basal cell cancer is the same as melanoma. And that's obviously not true. And I know this because my mom had basal cell cancer and it was less dangerous than the flu. But obviously melanoma is much more dangerous and they're not the same thing. Why I'm telling you this is because this completely removes credibility. And if people can sniff that you're up to something and that you don't know what you're talking about, they will never return to your site. Step number 3, make the second paragraph a TLDR version. So if you go to Google, let's say, is melanoma dangerous? Sometimes you'll see this box here. It's called a featured snippet. And what I found out is that if you make your second paragraph, or at least a paragraph at the beginning of the article, a straight to the point answer for the question, you have a huge chance of appearing here, right? So make the second paragraph TLDR, which means too long didn't read, you know, that on forums. You don't want to make it like stretched out. Just make it a simple answer, a question and an answer. So I would put my second paragraph like this. If I was writing about melanoma, right, I would just put it, so is melanoma dangerous? Yes, because the death rate is something blah blah. Can you see this? So I would put this. So when someone, if you don't have the time to read the content, you know, when people see this, this will give them a straight answer. And this is what Google loves to put inside of these featured snippets. So you can skip all the competition and jump straight to the top. Okay. So the fourth thing is stay on topic all the time. So this is one of the things, this is the most important tip, right? So the outline you produce, you should always produce an outline. Before writing an article, always produce an outline of subheadings. So subheading 1, subheading 2, subheading 3, and then you have like something like subheading 1, heading 2, and so on and so on. So create an outline. But how does this outline have to look like? The outline you produce should only include subheadings that are helpful and relevant for the topic you're writing about. This is extremely important. For example, let's say we're writing an article about how big do German Shepherds get. You know, the German Shepherds, the dogs, right? So, what is a German Shepherd? No, you should not write about what is a German Shepherd just to fill out your quota on the word count. Forget about it. You know, the average height and weight of a German Shepherd, yes. So, why? Because this is relevant. Average height and weight of a German Shepherd is important for how big the German Shepherds get, because height and weight is relevant to the title of the article. Difference in size between male and female, yes, because it's relevant. How long do German Shepherds live? No, because it's not relevant to the question. You don't want to just create filler content just to fill out your word count quota, right? This is something that Google is becoming like very intelligent about. You know, go deep into the topic. Don't go wide. Go deep. So if the article is about how big do German Shepherds get, you go deep into this topic. You don't cover everything. You can cover everything on the main money page, right? The main money page, you know, let's say you're selling German Shepherds or you're selling dermatology products, you know, let's say you're selling dermatology consultation, right? This is where you can go wide. But if you want to answer a question on how much does dermatology consultation cost, you can cover it a bit here, and then, you know, you can cover it much deeper in a specific article that links back to this money page. And you should always ask yourself, what would the reader want to know next? So, you know, you structured the article in a way that it's very logical, so, and it's very on topic, you know. So, I don't know, if we were writing about, you know, how big do German Shepherds get, I would probably start with, you know, I don't know, the average height or whatever, you know, the average height and weight, you know. So then I would start the difference. Then my second subheading would be the difference between a male and a female. Then my third subheading would be, you know, like, I don't know. You can think about something. So, but it always should be on the topic, you know, on topic. If you stay on topic, everything's gonna be fine, and there's a huge chance that a link from this internal article back to the money page will boost the money page, and you will also rank for this specific type of question.